Here we go again. Back here in Taicang, China. For those of you just joining us, go back and watch some of the earlier games because there's been some doozies. And even the ones that have been one-sided, there's been some excellent individual
for sure
shining moments. What we saw, a great
Chongar's clutch,
Double Q's clutch, just in the previous
the 4K
match.
By 18.
Yeah, 18.
Yeah. So, and then that one round where Natsun on Root came out a long and on car and just smacked 4K.
Well, and the last round from OPK versus
with a 2v5.
Was it OPK?
Yeah, it was OPK versus
TNC.
TNC. So many great rounds. Basically every single game there's been a great round. And that's actually abnormal. Usually, it's not always one great round.
Sometimes there's that game that you're just like, oh, I almost fell asleep.
Yeah.
But
there's been a lot of action happening here.
Yeah, and shouldn't slow down very much here because Makta's going to be taking on Cherry Stars.
Both teams not known to be patient and wait and make it
certainly slow. Not. It could be very explosive. Cherry Stars played earlier in their first match, which versus TGF. So how much can we learn from that? I don't know, but they got pretty soundly beaten. It looked pretty close early on, and then it just kind of got out of hand. Yeah. Or actually backwards, right? Is TGF? No, that was
flip side. Yeah.
Regardless, both TGF and SV look strong, which I mean,
expected.
Surprise, surprise! The Chinese teams are strong.
I mean, it's still nice to watch, but expected.
I mean, if you didn't watch last match and you're just looking at the scoreline, you probably wouldn't want to watch. You would probably.
You'd be like, I'm going to scan over that one. I'll skip back to another one. So if you haven't watched the last match and you see the scoreline and you don't want to watch it, go back and watch it because
the first two. Even if you just watch the first two rounds.
Yeah. And then just later on in the game, I'll just tell you this. Just a recap of it. OPK. It was closer than the score says because late round scenarios is where OPK kind of faltered. They just weren't as calm and collected.
It's not even that they faltered in some of them though.
I mean, you still gotta say like they did misplay a couple of them, and then SV also just outplayed. Right, outplayed the hell out of them.
There were definitely too many clutches given over to.
When there's that many, SV. It's not always an outplay.
Right.
Yeah. Sometimes, it's just an outplay. Like WQ's was an outplay on the last kill, and the first two kills was just positioning. Because and then Mzin, when he ran through the smoke, that wasn't a clutch, but it was still a late round scenario. And that was just an outplay yet again. It wasn't even a mistake on OPK's part. Yeah,
it was one of those games where instead of SV just beating them through strategy, they get to type at the end, get good. And just because they just mechanically really is what it came down to in a lot of those rounds, or just straight mistakes that ended up turning it. But Makta, I think you have to favor them in this matchup. What do you think?
For sure, because Makta's always been a top 3 talent. Pretty much, maybe there's a few times when they haven't gotten top 3, but pretty much they're very consistent top 3. Whereas any Vietnamese team is not consistently top 3.
Yeah,
they have gotten top 3 before, but it's like they're more consistently not top 3 than they are top 3. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That being said, though, I've seen a lot of tournaments where the Philippines, you say, hey, they definitely look like number 3 team, and then they just can't even quite get there. They might get to the 3rd place match and then lose, or just barely miss out on the 3rd place match. I haven't seen like a real stellar performance from the Philippines in a while. It's been mostly. Well, maybe it's just because I assume them always there. So
no, it's also been part of Makta not even being a part of last CFS.
That's a good point.
And I think last WCA they weren't a part of it either. So that would be the reasoning why, probably. I'm not saying the other teams in Philippines aren't as good. It's just the team who is consistent from Philippines is Makta.
I mean, the fact that you can only name out 2 tournaments, really big tournaments that you haven't seen, Makta or maybe Wara, but the Pacific organization itself I mean, they're clearly one of, if not the best.
They pretty much dominate the scene in
Right.
Philippines. Let's just put it that way.
I mean, how long
It's
was
not
it
very
that
often you see anybody else
Makta and
besides-
Wara were 1-2?
Yeah. I mean, I think it is almost still that way for the most part. It's like consistency-wise, they're top 2, both of them. And for a while there, whenever there was just a couple tournaments where more than one was allowed from like a region, they were both going, and it was just interesting to see both of them just pounding the pavement going in.
Yeah, and it's been this guy on your screen that it'll be interesting to moving forward how much his impact will have affected the team, because they looked more strategical. They look to be able to use more strategy in their first match of the day with their new order there.
The new captain, yeah.
Yeah.
He kind of he's changed Pacific Makta so far, looking for the better, because they still have a lot of their old style, and maybe I'm not going to say that's like a mistake on their part, because they were very good at that style. Even though it's inconsistent, they were still very good at that style. So they still got a part of that into it, but they've also become a bit more calm and collected in a lot of rounds.
That, you say that they play this, that there's nothing wrong with their style. I would disagree with old Makta's style. When has it ever even looked like it had the potential to be a Chinese team?
That is true. And another side of that coin is whenever they played against Chinese teams, they didn't even do the same things. They were like scared. Revenge wouldn't go for the same crazy like pushes and things like that he does. So
like, if you
I'm sure it wouldn't really work against a Chinese team that well, but they didn't even try. They were just like scared or something.
Like, if you look at some other teams, like going even way back to a Vietnamese team in Freedom back at the CFS finals, they asked questions of Chinese teams. Flipside has asked questions of Chinese teams. INTZ that you touched on earlier in the cast has to ask questions.
Carbon.
Oh yeah?
Come on now.
Oh, that's right. In the Invitational, Brazil Invitational. Yeah. Black Widow and Mexico are going to be the bans. Port's going to be the pick. And Cherry will decide to take the global risk side.
Can't be glossing over NA like that when we're both from there. Come on now.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. I'll stick with my adopted region for CROSSFIRE
because they're the best. Come on,
because they're the best.
Unfair. That's unfair.
Well, I have lived
Kevin Durant on it. Kevin Durant going to the dominant side.
In most leagues, that is considered a naturalized player. But here it is, Trey Stars. I will say though, I do root for NA in tournaments secretly.
And
but
also,
it just
whenever
never works.
I don't know from personal experience, if we don't win, you come over there and you talk hella smack to us too.
Yes, I do.
It's only because you care.
Because I'm exactly. I'm salty.
But this is an aggressive push, honestly. Cart getting in there really early, just showing how he's changing this team up. He's probably setting it up for some sort of strategy here, maybe like a fake, and then he's going to lurk toward A or something like that.
And again, this will be a really good map to see what Cart's influence has been. Port, a very strategic map. You can't just walk blindly into places, especially on the attack.
And you can already see like the changes he's made in them as a team, because what did they do all the other times that I've seen them play Port? They generally just kind of sit around. They'll run toward A long, try to get Revenge a pick there, or they'll sit around in mid and let Revenge try to get a pick there and just watch every other angle. And look at them right now. They're just pushing up into tunnels, taking tunnels control, and Revenge is there, but they're changing it up a little bit. They're actually taking control, being patient, sitting here, waiting on peaks, waiting on things to set up. And I like to see this. This is beautiful.
And then when it doesn't work, they just delay, hard B execute. Yeah. Everybody run through the corridor. But yeah, they've taken a lot of good. Ooh, that is it.
Stop me! I'm gonna faint. Do I see Makta throwing flashes?
I mean, they look good.
They smoked off it. This is good though. This is good. Is this a fake?
He's gonna get one, and he's not gonna get traded out by Teddy. Oh, he will in the end, but it's gonna come right back through for Cart. And now at the 2-on-2, but the bomb is up on the point, and that's going to be rough. Although
Revenge is still alive, so there's the X factor for you. He takes out one already, and KZ, he's left alive. He is the leader, and he can definitely make some plays right here for Cherry Stars, but
Yeah,
you definitely should know by now the bomb's down because they're not planting it yet. But no, as I say that, here they go, and they plant. But he gets a nice pick right off the bat. And he gets a double kill. KZ coming in. What a clutch from KZ. Vital round for his team because the first round, it's the most important round. Yes, it doesn't win you the whole game, but it sets the momentum, and both these teams are momentum-based.
And
so it takes it away from...
And especially KZ.
Oh, yeah.
Right? We
And
talked
he's
about
allowed...
this previously.
Yeah.
That if you want somebody to go out there and get you a clutch, not only is it most likely going to be KZ, but if he does pull it off, he's going to inject that hype into your team.
That confidence. Yeah.
Exactly. So we'll see how Cherry comes out into this next round as we see Cart going to go and immediately move up into the connector there. Excuse me, what do you call it?
It's a connector, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
There we go. For some reason, I was
Pretty much
thinking
anything
something else.
linking two sites together, it's easy because we can say AC, so it's a connector, fast and easy to
That
say.
makes sense. Cart.
It's kind of like the same strategy from last round. They're just taking B tunnel control really slowly and then working their way toward two. Still, is it two here? Yeah, probably two toward BC, one toward Barn. Looks like they're going actually two toward Barn. They're going to be taking B site here with maybe some sort of split through mid.
Yeah, a little dangerous there from ZDD pushing up alone with the bomb, but he is reinforced now by Revenge. And they've taken a lot of space just passively here, Makta. And they do get a little first firefight going to come out there and lost by Aldrin. Godzilla with a double kill, and just like that, it all falls apart here for Makta. And that being said, ZDD trying to get work done, but he can't do it. Revenge with the pistol not going to be enough.
I mean, that is a hard hold to have. I mean, they split mid. They actually did it well. They threw flashes. They threw nades. They threw everything they need to do. They smoked things off, and they come out, and they just get cleaned up by a Cherry Star. There was almost a picture-perfect hold. They just lost one player.
And let me tell you, we have headsets on. There's a wall behind us which separates us from the stage.
And we can still hear them.
And we can still hear Cherry Stars.
They're getting loud, and ZDD coming up huge for Makta here. They need to get some momentum going. And he's going to get a double kill here pretty much. Let's see if he can pin up any more for his team.
ZDD's really been the shining light here in these opening rounds, and only Luther left alive. He's going to have to... Ooh, he's got almost takes out Revenge there. Dinks another one.
Zeke with the savage peak there. But ZDD, man, the old strategic master for them. He used to call all the strats and everything. And now that he's able to just focus on fragging, he seems to make a lot of intelligent plays because he used to be a strat caller.
Right. Frees him up to do other things.
Yeah, and he gets those early picks and those vital picks for Pacific Makta.
Yep. That being said, KZ now 5-1 in the opening 3 rounds.
And they lost 2. Or they sorry,
won
they,
two.
I'm just
But they
gonna
have
stop.
lost 1. That would be
They
his
have lost
one
one.
death.
If he keeps this up, he may drop a 20 in the first half.
That would be bonkers. That would actually be bonkers.
Well, actually, it'd be 15 and 3. I take it back.
I can't remember the last time in pro play that in a 1/2 20 has ever been dropped. That's so many kills.
It's pretty difficult in 9 rounds. Yeah, that's for sure.
So many kills.
This B push here, this could be... the way that Cherry Stars is holding this here, that passive strat I was talking about from SV, where if they play this perfectly here, the push from Makta is going to be so difficult here. But Revenge, he gets an immediate pick, it looks like, onto one of the B guys.
KZ missing
And
some
nothing
shots
going
there
back.
as well, and it's going to make it hard here for...
Oh! What a shot by KZ. Unexpected right there. What a shot. The one tap there.
I still hold the casters.
Well, honestly, I'm not sure why they didn't just hold the crossfire, because the crossfire is the most vital part of that defense. But they're both right up here. Jinbei can come out with this, but sadly he just gets 1 deked by Revenge. Revenge ain't having none of that clutching.
Yeah, I mean, judging from the trajectory of those grenades, I thought he was going to get the jump on them and at least have a good shot at turning that, especially with their low health, able to switch targets really quickly. But Revenge wasted 0 time and took him in the dome, as you said, with the 1D. And that's going to even things up here, 2-2. Looking like we might be set up for a good one, but good first half for Makta, as 2 on the board already and plenty left to go here. Could be important for them. Looking maybe even at this pace, take something like a 5-4 if they could.
Just look at the way they're even taking the tunnels, though. This is just something you never would have seen from the old Makta. I'm still amazed. And it's not even just the patience. Yeah, it is part of that, but just the way they took it. They double-nated barn, just like it's just part of strategy. They know how to take it now.
I don't. Patience is not the right word. I can't think of. You talk to us a bit when you think.
Well, it looks like they're probably going to be doing something mid here again because they've got. It might be some sort of mid-split toward A, or they might be going toward AC because they got 3 geared toward A long here. It's just kind of a weird strategy. Thorough, yeah, it is thorough. And making sure they get use everything possible to win the round. But this may be a strategy I was talking about earlier where they go toward A with the mid-split. Nobody does this. It's unexpected. This could be... Oh, Aldrin with the nice 2 kills here. He definitely could be picked this up. And he picks it up. You can't give Aldrin those 1v1s. That's what you can't give him those 1v1 angles. You got to peek together with the teammate.
It's far from over. Aldrin with 3 on the round?
3 on the round. He could definitely get this ace here. He's getting another 1v1. Teammate comes and cleans it up, and Revenge cannot get the 1v2, even though he does pick up 1.
This could be a Luther.
But that was an exciting round.
I thought he had the 4th one.
He almost did. It was just like a couple millimeters off there.
I thought he had the 4th one, and it was a question of if he could recalibrate in time to pick up the 5th, as it was right behind him, but... wasn't to be, and in fact, it's going to be Cherry Stars who take the round and the lead here in the first half. But they're going to need more than a 1-point lead coming into the second half. They're going to need to string some rounds together here and put the pressure back onto Makta.
And they're actually playing in tunnels this round, which is a little different. I don't think they played in tunnels yet, so we'll see how Makta deals with this.
They've been holding deep a lot there on that B site, and a very well-spread defense with a little bit of push into B, kind of covering all their bases.
And one other important part to note about their whole tunnel hold is that they're holding top line. So we'll see how Makta deal with this. I haven't really seen them checking top line. And Luther, he just comes up quick. Just 2 headshots. Doesn't even bother waiting on his top teammate to peek. Just peeks out there. Cleans it right up for his team.
If you just win the trade straight up, doesn't even matter.
No need for you to be top barn, buddy. You can go back to A site. It's all good.
Maybe he's just napping up there. He's protecting his napping teammate. Make him go back to... Who was it that we saw doing the B-hop there?
Oh, that was OP. It was the TNC player, I'm pretty sure. No. Actually, I don't remember. But that was pretty funny. They boosted up the above the barn entrance at B, and he was sitting there B-hopping the entire round, and he wasn't messing it up.
And it came so close to mattering, and then mattered 0. Mattered nothing at all.
They almost pushed B twice, and then they just didn't.
Oh, that was good quality fun. That being said, though, the 2-man advantage here for Cherry Stars. Revenge being so aggressive. He saw it. He missed it. Luther. Oh, he
by himself out A long, though. Revenge is such a confident player. I'm not sure how he didn't die.
Exactly.
What?
He was confident that his enemies would miss the shots. Not even just confident in his own abilities, but he is correct. They do, in fact, miss the shots. It's a big trade here. CDD can win it, and it's going to put them into the 3v3. Another big duel here between Cart and
Jinba.
Ooh.
Cart coming in huge, man.
Deagle's back-to-back Deagle tails there with Revenge and Cart picking him up almost in symphony.
Yeah, in tandem, in symphony. Now it's up to Luther. Now this man was showing up big, and he was showing up huge in practice yesterday. But let's just see if he can. As I said, that it's hard to come out on top against a Revenge opping, already holding the angle, scoped in. What can you really do, you know?
Yeah, he's got 17 name already as well. And already 3 rounds here for Makta. You definitely have to say that Port in general favoring the defensive side. So if they can keep this pace, they're going to put themselves in a great position moving into the second half. Excuse me. As we do see the XP come out onto the B site and get stuffed immediately. Although Revenge, all on his lonesome, not the cleanest shots there.
Unfortunate there from Revenge. That feel when the Deagle just doesn't want to, hit the person.
Cooperate.
You're just spamming, but, you're not putting your crosshair on them. That's the unfortunate.
Indeed. But a big round win there for Cherry Stars to stop some of the bleeding here on the defensive side. They really need to pick up these last 2 rounds. I do believe the scoreboard is short one. It should be 4-3 here for Cherry Stars. I think, really want to pick up at least 2 more, probably 3, if they can. But Makta looks, for all the world, like they're going to continue to chase them on this attacking side and put themselves in a really good position going onto the defense.
And it's also important to note that the little sniper battle there going on, they haven't really been picking each other, but Revenge is definitely making a huge impact while Jinbe is just kind of falling up short. Now, they haven't gone toward A too many times, so he hasn't really had an opportunity, but
bold
at the same time, he still only has 2 frags right now. And now they're kind of falling back on the old strategy just to see just to switch it up a bit and let Revenge just go and do his own thing, see what he can turn up with.
Absolutely, right. I think it's 100% a good idea for them to occasionally just say, Revenge, this is your round. See what you can do for us. We have a backup strat if you don't find anything, but we'd really like it if you go out there and give us a pick.
Would you mind getting us a pick, Bugs?
And he's been doing it.
That's good, though, because what they're doing now is instead of just hanging around Revenge while he goes and does his Rambo stuff, they kind of go on their own thing. And once he makes noise, they push wherever they want to push. But it did not work out.
That's a very good point. I mean,
they kind of got clapped up there as I was talking the entire time.
Strategically, a good idea, but as is so many times on the attacking side of Port, best laid plans of mice and men, right?
It was about every other word I was saying. It was a bullet clapping them up.
Exactly. So, I mean, good on Cherry Stars to stuff that attack, and that's going to put them, they're guaranteed at least the positive scoreline here with 5 on the board, but still a very important round for both teams. Such a huge difference, especially on Port, between 5-4 and 6-3, even if it's just mental.
For sure. The thing is, I mean, you can still be comfortable with getting 2 rounds on the T side. Now, it's not the best. You're not looking at it like, oh, we definitely won, but you're like, it's okay. Now, getting 3 rounds, you're starting to look at it like, oh, we did good. Now, we can definitely have a GR side that can get, a 7-2 GR side. And then if they get 4 rounds, they're looking at it like, we probably already won this. But we still got to come up strong in the GR, but we probably already got this. So you definitely don't want to give them this 4th round as the B push comes in. And 2 trades going forth in favor of Makta already. And looking like a 3rd coming in quick. 4, actually. And just like that, it made the 4th round maybe on the scoreboard for them.
So hard to do with the op here. Not that it's easy to do with any weapon, the 1v4, but especially with an op, as it is a reload time weapon. And yeah, 5-4, as you said. And
great patience and just not over peaking right there from Makta as well. Even though it was 4v1, most players would just want to peek and get that frag. But they showed a lot of composure there.
Yeah, I mean, you have to say, it looks like a much better Makta than we've seen in recent years. And the only thing you can point to is the addition of Cart into that shot calling role. And maybe even Revenge reeling it back a little bit.
Yeah.
Understanding that there's a time and a place. There's a time and a place, but it's not all the time and every place. However, KZ looked pretty good in that first half, especially early on. Kind of maybe went a little bit quiet there towards the end of that half.
I mean, he was definitely key in some of the rounds they won, that's for sure. But and that clutch he made was extremely vital. I mean, if they had been 6-3, this would be a very depressing moment for them.
That's a great point.
4-5. That would have been a depressing moment for them, but yeah. At least they're leading in this half by 1 round so far, thanks to KZ.
And by all means, it is not over. Much stranger things have happened than a 5-4. You still have the lead. So, and anytime a new round comes across, especially, well, they are down a man, but you still want to see them take that first round on either side to know that they can do it. Ooh, nice trade out there. Gonna favor Makta as they will get both the information and a continued man advantage. Godzilla gonna pick one up on a cart though, and
basically a
Just
2v3
barely.
now. This is hugely in favor of Makta, where it has been pretty much an even trade. Well, actually, KZ here, he's in a great position. Can Zeke even see him? Oh, Zeke definitely spotted him out, and so this is not a good spot for KZ anymore. He's kind of stuck here. Oh, he barely makes
just
it out.
barely.
But overall, a 1-for-1 trade, generally you're in a 2-for-2 trade like it was, is usually favoring the BL. But the fact that Godzilla is so lit here actually puts it in favor of Makta. And the fact that they knew where everybody was. So Makta can appropriately just stack wherever they want on the map. Looks like they're favoring toward A.
Oh, and they've gotten it. You'll see him now, and that's a big one there onto KZ.
But he did not see Jimba come out from the side. But Jimba,
Not the
he gets
cleanest.
lit up because he didn't get the cleanest frag there. And he's going in for more, but Revenge, he's up there with the Deagle. Because Jinba didn't clean that frag up quick enough, he was lit enough to where he 1D'd him in the chest pretty much.
Godzilla
And
lagging so far behind.
Yeah.
And
And he's
he-
so lit.
Oh, they have no idea where he is, though.
This
Revenge
could be- they think he might be ladder, though. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And Revenge, just with the game sense there, just spots him out.
It's not. I don't even think it was game sense. I just think it was bad luck because he sprayed through that box. For some reason, he thought he was already on the point,
Yeah.
and so he's not in this box, then he must be on the ladder. And then he walks over to the point and goes to the ladder, rather than for some reason I think he's the ladder. Other than I swear he's over here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he easily could have taken a different path.
Just unlucky.
I think whoa.
Are you
Sorry
breaking
about that.
things?
I think something fell off of
You
my
got Steven
chair.
over here breaking things.
I apologize. That was probably pretty loud on stream too. Something fell off of my chair. Hopefully it won't break on me. That would be devastating.
If it does, hopefully it breaks on camera so everybody can see that.
Exactly. At least then it's got comedic value and it's not just me falling for no reason. But that being said, 5-5 all tied up here. Makta looking to take the lead if they can, but not if Cherry Stars has anything to say about
And
it.
they may have Revenge in tunnel. Did they have Revenge in tunnel? I'm not sure. They got one person in lower tunnels. This is
He
an
did.
odd setup here from them.
Revenge did just pick KZ, so
That was in middle though.
we had a chance for another. He's gonna go back for more with the dig.
Oh, he's definitely gonna get a pick here. Oh,
That
was so close. That was a good position from him, but he just didn't connect on the shot. Oh, he tried to quick scope it too. He tried to be fancy on it. I like it.
They should have some idea though at this point.
And Godzilla's in a bit of a bind here if Revenge keeps holding that, which Revenge does end up backing up. But Godzilla, if Revenge had kept sitting there, he definitely would have been picked off or at least spotted.
Pinned down, I believe, because I'm pretty sure they knew where he was after that first shot rings out, right?
Yeah.
But certainly not.
Ooh, what an entry from Luther there. Luther finally stepping up a little bit. Let's see if he can step up more in this round and clean it up for his team.
He's not going to be able to find one through the crack there. But they are going to take the duel here onto ZYK, and ZYK picks up one, and he looks for the other. He's all turned
Aldrin
around.
already took him out. But what was that? Why did he just pull out a nade like that? Your nade should already be thrown by the time you're starting this. They threw no nades to start it off. Maybe it was a fake or something like that, but just it didn't seem like a good plan.
Yeah, super uncoordinated. Well, it was a nice
That's
shot.
a nice
from
shot like
Godzilla,
Godzilla.
but not gonna matter in the end.
Yeah.
Not gonna matter in the end. And that will be Makta taking the lead and looking like they're starting to cruise here. They have yet to drop around here on the defensive side.
And the
That
rounds
being said,
haven't even
swing
looked
into it.
close, though. The
Right.
rounds haven't looked that close. It's been decently clean rounds from Makta back to back.
I agree. And Revenge already with 5 to his name in 2 rounds.
They're just letting him get started. They're not really throwing smokes on any of their takes. Like when they went toward A right there, I don't know what they were thinking. They just ran out, and they're letting Revenge kind of just do his own thing, peek anywhere he wants.
He's peeking here again in mid. Getting aggressive on that defensive side, it can be danger on port, but it's been working so well for him so far. Godzilla thinking about being sneaky here. He's going to take the peek. I don't
Revenge
know.
spots him out, but he intelligently backs off. He doesn't want to keep peeking mid if there's no smoke there, and they do throw a smoke under the bridge, and Teddy might actually catch Makta off guard here. And he does catch one. He should get one onto Revenge, but he actually, that's an intelligent thing to back off too. He could have got the double kill, but But at the same time, he didn't know exactly where Revenge was, and Revenge is nuts. So you never know what's gonna happen there, and he ends up picking Revenge anyways, because Revenge is a bit too confident there, over peeking.
Yeah, I mean that's all you have to say about that one is that Revenge. That's
a bit much there,
aggressive. That's so aggressive, overly aggressive. As they do come out onto the site here with the bomb is going down. It will go down, and the trades don't go at all.
Zeke just going absolutely huge, monstrous round from him. That was probably the best 4K we've seen this entire tournament so far.
Correct.
What a beautiful round. Is so fast.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but they were all headshots.
Yeah, they were all headshots. And the first frag came in, I saw one frag on the board, and then the next thing I blink, and there's 4. They must have all lined up. I'm not even sure how it happened. I'm sure we'll see a replay of that later on.
Oh, we had better. We had better see a replay of that. That was a little bit bonkers.
He seems like he's a pretty decent player. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Yeah.
Zeke definitely coming up huge for Mokta right now, holding it down for the squad.
That was...
And just like that, the 4K like that definitely puts a little bit of a stop into your mind. Just your confidence kind of goes away when you get 4K like that. And the round after, Mokta goes a little bit aggressive, takes out 2 members of Cherry Stars just like that, and then a third. And one's already lit up. This round is kind of looking pretty hopeless right here, and it's about to be 8-5.
With what would that be? 4 rounds in a row?
5 rounds in a row. Or 4 rounds.
Well, technically 5, but
I can't math.
You're right. It would be 5 because they won the last round of the first half. I was just thinking second half.
You saved me with that right there.
And well, you were right.
Yeah, but I wasn't thinking about that. I was only thinking about this half.
Regardless, it means an extremely dominant second half here for Mokta, and it looks like we've devolved to a B rush here.
Unfortunate. It's just a collateral from Revenge. They just can't catch a break. And then you got ZDD coming from behind.
Oh, lordy.
They just cannot catch a break.
That's a little crazy. That's a little bit crazy.
And that's looking like pretty much the wind-up of the end right there. They tried something aggressive, which is what they needed to do. And they needed to set a little bit of the pace there, but it just does not work out. Collateral by Revenge.
That's brutal.
Revenge just peaking. This man is so confident right now. He'll probably end up taking some aggressor right there. And Cart just pushing out into mid. Intelligent play from him as well. 2 kills straight through the smoke. What a beautiful headshot onto Godzilla. Just unfortunate by him. I know he's mad about
another
that.
one. He wants it.
Oh,
he's
no.
Got it.
Don't let him do this.
Fourth one.
Straight through the smoke on 2 of these kills out of 3. This man just, he's a savage. He's looking for more.
He knows where he is. Luther just picked off Revenge. He's got it. Luther's going off.
Oh, there it is. He gets the 4-piece to end the round for his, or to finalize the match.
Yeah, you have to say, it's sort of what I was wondering about our last match. Go into it, right? And they have a little bit of light early on, and they take the attacking side. They get 2, and then they switch over, and it's 7-2, right? And SV immediately cleans up, which is why I talked about how we don't know what that really says for Boss, because if it were Switch, we'd have much more information. Like this game, right? Where Mokta starts on the attacking side instead and picks up 4 and then completely cleanly closes out the next 6. I think this is pretty much about as dominating as you can look on port.
I mean, it's kind of, I guess you can kind of compare it because they did start on T side, but in a way it's not even comparable because like they just dominated. I mean, they were on the T side, they got 4 rounds. That's massive. That's massive right there. Right. And then they just tore it apart on the CT side. They just rolled right through them. Right, choo-choo, coming through.
Exactly. Right. So it's If they had started, my point would be if they had instead started on the defensive side and gone 7-2, then it's less impressive if they finish it 10.
It's definitely less
even
impressive.
10-2.
You're right. So
But
starting
this-
on the T
but
side and
this
then
be-
winning out like that.
Right,
you're
right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, granted, it would be more impressive if they somehow took like a 9-0 on the attack, but then you would just be, but then it would cease to be Makta showing up and just their opponents being.
It would just be like, their opponent's not showing up. Their opponents, it's just not, they're not good enough to compare. You can't really take that. You got to take that match with a grain of salt. But the fact that they started on the T side, they started rolling, man. They were showing different strategies. This is
Exactly.
the Makta I like
and
to
the
see.
way they did it, the way they won.
They mixed it up a little bit with letting a couple of rounds where they let Revenge just do his own thing and go for picks. And then the core of them got together. It didn't work out for them. But the core of them, it was a good strategy though. The core of them got together and did their own thing apart from Revenge. And then there was the other rounds where I liked even more, where they showed a little bit of strategy, a little bit of structure, where they took B tunnels a certain way.
And the good news here, just looking at the big picture for Makta, is they still have another game to play. Let's just pretend
Already
that
2-0.
if they're just hot, right?
Yeah.
Let's just assume that maybe
Today they're hot. Yeah.
Maybe they're still the old Pacific Makta. They don't look as good as we're chalking them up to be just off of these two games. That's fine. They're playing hot right now, and they got 3 of their group stage matches today. We've got Boss next versus TNC, and then they're up against Flipside.
And basically, if they win all 3 of these matches here, they're already out of the groups.
Yeah.
They're already out
On
on the first day.
Unless TGF doesn't make it out.
What do you mean? I mean, if they win 3 matches, though, they're out. Like
Right.
they win out.
Right. But I'm saying that they would get out, but they wouldn't necessarily.
They wouldn't be first place.
They wouldn't necessarily be first. It would mean that no other team would get through. Is what I'm thinking of, right?
Unless TGF loses.
Right.
So that group is already pretty much finalized if they beat Flipside.
Right. Unless
something crazy happens.
Then that puts the pressure on either Flipside. That puts the pressure on somebody to prove that Makta's actually the number 1 in their group.
Well, the thing is, though, just to end this, is that TGF has already played Flipside. So Flipside, they've already taken the L on that. If they take the L to Makta, it's pretty much already over. The group is over. And Makta probably made it up.
That'll make the last game of the day very interesting.
This next game, this pretty much decides the group, in my opinion.
Boss versus TNC? This next game.
Oh, I thought it was Flipside versus...
No. They wouldn't play back to back.
We never know.
That
We
would
never
be
know.
intense. No, we will go to Boss versus TNC and then finish up with Flipside versus Makta, which should be interesting. Definitely want to stick around for that one. But first, come back for Boss versus TNC. We're going to jump to a break, but we will be back.